Match, which is a self-service tool available to all families there in Charlottesville, where you can search for providers on your own, or you can also always connect directly with our team 24/7. If you have any questions at the end, I'll be happy to answer those. And with that, I think I'll just jump right in and get started. I'll share my screen here. All right. So Care Solace, we are a mental health care coordination service. Our mission is really to calm the chaos of the mental health care system and to connect everyone to the support that they need. We're here to help you and your family members get connected to providers for mental health and substance use treatment. We partner with schools and districts and townships across the United States. We're reaching around 3.5 million students, but this is not just for students, it's also for all family members, meaning parents, siblings, guardians, etc. It's also available to all of the staff there at the school district and their families. And our whole goal is to save everyone time in finding a provider, which can be really exhausting. So the whole reason we exist is because of these barriers that can pop up in the mental health care system. And it can just be really overwhelming to search for a mental health care provider. These are just some examples of barriers that families can face, whether that be stigma of seeking help in the first place, a language barrier, finding a provider who takes your insurance, and even once you do find a provider, having to navigate a specialization fit or wait times. We're really here to help break down these barriers. We want to hold your hand throughout that process and bridge the gap between that person who needs help and the provider who's able to do so. Now, the way we do that is through these services we offer here. At the heart and soul of our organization is the Care Companion team you see here in the center. This is our 24/7, 365 multilingual support team. They will work directly with you to call providers on your behalf, find a provider who takes your insurance or offers a sliding scale option. They can help you set up your first appointment, and they always follow up to ensure satisfaction. This team can be leveraged through our two platforms we have at Care Solace. Care Loop is really for the mental health teams and the admin at your schools there. Your mental health team, so your counselors, your social workers, nurses, psychs, etc., they can all do referrals on your family's behalf. Or using Care Match, you can always reach out to us directly. And that's really what I'm going to focus on today. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and switch my screen share here. We're going to take a look at Care Match. This is a self-service website. You can access this site at home. You do not need a login. And the link is caresolace.com/Charlottesville. And I'll share this link in the chat at the end as well. There are two different ways you can utilize this Care Match tool. The first is to click the Book Appointment tab at the top of the screen. This is going to pull up our Care Companion team's contact information. This is a 24/7 team. You can contact us anytime via email, phone, or video chat. Let us know what type of provider you're looking for, what you're struggling with, insurance information, any preferences, etc. We will do that work with you from start to finish of helping you find a provider. And your case will stay confidential if you reach out to us directly. We will ask if you would like a staff member from the school looped into your case or your student or your child's case. But if you say no, your case stays confidential. The district never has access to your names or any case information. So this is a really wonderful option if you're looking for that support and you want to keep that a bit more private. Again, you can contact us 24/7 via email, phone, or video chat. The other option here through Care Match is to use this questionnaire to search for providers. The main question here on the screen is going to ask, what are you struggling with? There are drop downs here for substance use and mental health, and you can choose more than one thing here. So I'm going to show you what this questionnaire looks like. Let's say that I'm struggling with depression and anxiety. You can choose multiple things in here. From there, we'll go to the next step, and it asks, what type of treatment are you looking for? If you're not sure what these different options mean, you can hover over the question mark and it gives you a brief explanation. So we have individual therapy, we have marital family counseling, psychological assessments, outpatient programs, inpatient, partial hospitalization. Again, if you're not sure, just hover over to see what it is you might be looking for. But let's say I'm looking for individual therapy. From there, I'll go to the next step. Gender identity, male, female, or non-binary. So we're just gathering some demographic information here for data purposes. Age range here, you'll select your age from the dropdown. Ethnicity. And then from here, you'll select your insurance. If you have no insurance, we're going to look for a sliding scale out-of-pocket option for you. And if you do end up needing a completely free option, you can always let a care companion know and we'll search for only free options for you. If you want to self-pay, you can select that. We have Medicaid, Medicare. We work with families regardless of insurance type. So it doesn't matter if you have private, public, or no insurance, we will support you in finding a provider. And then we should have every insurance in this drop down here that you can think of. But let's say I have Medicaid and Medicare. From there, you'll enter your zip code, the distance you'd be willing to travel for in-person services. Once we filter here, there's an option to look for virtual therapists as well. And then the last question asks if this is for a student, a family member of a student, or staff. So we'll say this is for a student. And then when we click Get Matched, this platform is going to go through our database of providers to find you options matched to the needs that you specify. You will always get this pop-up reminder letting you know that a care companion is available to help you set up your appointment if you'd like that support. And it just reminds you of our phone number, our email, and how you can video chat with us. And then this reference code here, you can share with the care companion so that they can pull up that information you already submitted in the questionnaire. But say, for example, that you're someone who doesn't mind calling out to those providers to see who has availability. You can go ahead and dismiss this. This is going to pull up a list of providers matched to the needs that you specified. You can see the name, the address, the phone number, the distance. And at the top here, you can also filter for different special requests. So for example, like I mentioned, if you're interested in teletherapy, here's where you'd find the option to filter for teletherapy as well. If you have to make any adjustments, you can do so right in here. You can switch your language if needed, and then click Get Matched, and it will just filter those results for you again. Okay. So the last thing I want to do here is just pull up a link, a QR code really quickly, in case you want to pull this up on your phone right now. So let me share my screen one more time. And so if you do have your phone out, if you're watching this presentation, this is a live QR code. Feel free to scan this on your phone. It will pull up the Care Match site right there on your phone for you if you'd like to take a look and click around in there. There is also a Google Translate feature in the top right if you do need to translate that website into the language of your choice. And with that, I'm going to jump back in here. Let me get the link for you also in the chat in case you want to pull it up that way. And then just a couple things to note. When you are working with our care companion team, please make sure to let them know any preferences you have. So if you have a preference of provider, for example, maybe you prefer a female therapist over a male therapist, you can let our team know. Maybe you've heard of a specific provider from friends or family or folks there at the school, you can let us know that you'd like us to reach out to them first. Also, like I mentioned, if you need a completely free option, let us know so we can look for free options for you. And last thing to note is that there are wait times right now across the country. That is a reality. We know that, we're aware of that. Our whole goal and mission is to still do all that work for you. So we'll call as many providers as needed to find you availability. We'll help try to explain what your options look like. So maybe, for example, there's a wait time here of 4 weeks, but we could get you in virtually next week with this provider. So really, again, just kind of holding your hand throughout that process, helping you understand what your options are in this current climate. But Jodie, anything I missed that you think would be helpful to touch on?
I wonder, I know you talked about the sort of anonymous searches. Will you talk a little bit about the warm handoffs?
Definitely. So like I mentioned, at the school there, your mental health teams, and typically that's the school counselors, school social workers, school nurses, therapists, school psychologists, they have the ability to do what we call a warm handoff on behalf of you or your child. And that's really just a referral process. So if you're comfortable with that, All we need is your name and phone number. There will be a written consent form you will have to sign this year as well. And once you sign that consent form, the counselor or whoever it is that submits that referral can they'll be kept in the loop about your student's case. And so we'll be really working as a team with, for example, the counselor or the social worker at the school there in finding you that care. And they'll be looped in so they'll know when we found you a provider, when we've set up your appointment. We'll always follow up to see if you're happy with that provider. And we're going to keep that staff member in the loop so that, again, they can also support with this case. So that's always an option. If you feel like you would like to utilize Care Solace, just reach out to your student's mental health team member. I know Jodie kind of oversees a lot of those folks, so she can, I'm sure, help, navigating to the right person. But typically that's going, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jodie, but going to be your student's counselor or social worker there at the school.
And just for any of our staff who may watch this or see this, our staff also can utilize our school mental health professionals for a referral, but our school mental health professionals will not see any of the communication. We just put the referral in, and then we don't see anything beyond that. Just to clarify the difference between when we make a warm handoff referral for students or their families versus our staff or their family members.
Correct. All staff cases stay confidential no matter what. And staff can also utilize Care Match, which we were just looking at as well. So if staff want to reach out to us directly at any time, they can. But if they want to, touch base with their colleague and ask for that warm handoff referral, they can absolutely do so. When the warm handoff is done, it allows us to contact them directly. It really just kind of takes that first phone call off their plate, which might seem like a small thing, but if you're in the phase of needing help, that can be the difference between starting that search for care and kind of giving up. So we're always happy to reach out to you with that first phone call and just get it started for you. And we're always going to keep you in the loop as we're working as well. So like I mentioned, there are wait times sometimes, or we do run into roadblocks. We're going to let you know what it is we're finding. So if we're still looking for providers, we'll be texting you every couple of days, letting you know, hey, I've reached out to this many providers. I'm waiting to hear back from this person. So we're going to let you know where we're at in that process so that you're not just waiting around to hear from us. Anything else that would be helpful to cover?
Just curious, I know that you had touched briefly on the wait times. What's the anticipated wait time that you've seen so far, just so we can have a realistic idea of maybe what families or staff could expect?
So let me see if I can get you an actual number. It can be really tricky because it depends what you're looking for usually, and how open you are to different options. So let's take a peek. Just give me 1 second here.
While Ashley's looking for the answer, I also just want to let people know that if you are looking for Care Solace and you can't find that QR code or can't remember where the website, we do have Care Solace on our Charlottesville City Schools website. It's right on the homepage of our charlottesvilleschools.org, all the way at the bottom, under parents. You can find it, and under students, you can find it. So it's in two different places, and we put it there so people wouldn't have to hunt for it so much. And so you can just go straight to our school's website, and it takes you right to that Care Loop website.
All right, so let's see, I have some numbers for you. So, and these are averages right now for your state. So right now it's taking us about 3 days to find an appropriate match. It's taking about 8 days to have an appointment scheduled on the books. And then until the first appointment actually takes place, about 12 days. That's actually really good comparatively to I'm happy with those numbers I just pulled. Yeah. So within 12 days, so within about 2 weeks, it looks like we're able to be getting that first appointment scheduled, which is great. So another thing to keep in mind is the more communicative you can be with us at Care Solace, typically the faster we can get you connected. So once we find a provider match for you or your family member, we're going to let you know the matches we found, and then we can help you schedule that appointment. The quicker we hear back from you about those matches and the scheduling piece, the quicker we can, of course, call and get that appointment scheduled. If you, as the family member, want to call and schedule it on your own, you can absolutely do so. We'll always follow up to make sure you had success, but we can do the conference call and call together. But the longer we wait, sometimes what happens is an appointment that was available, if we wait maybe 4 days to call, that appointment is no longer available. So the quicker you can get back to us, the better. We understand that's not always realistic. It's a busy world out there. But if you can get back to us same day or next day, typically we're going to be able to get you connected even faster.